Skeleton Key here. Figured I might as well get started on my middle grade March reading wrap up while I've still got this book fresh in my mind. I finished this in one sitting. This was it's a real skinny book. And this is, I'd say put this probably at the younger end of middle grade. This is The True Story of Jim the Wonder Dog by Marty Rhodes Figley. And I really like this cover because it has the entire rainbow, and I had 2 different challenges this year that required a book with all the colors of the rainbow on the cover. So yay! Jim came through for me. I believe I already told you in another video, Jim the Wonder Dog is from my hometown. I mean, he wasn't born in Missouri, and the breeder was down in West Plains, I think. But my hometown of Marshall, Missouri is considered the home of Jim the Wonder Dog, because that's where he spent most of his life. With the family, I keep wanting to say Vanderbilt, and I know that's not right. I've just been watching too much Gilded Age. But Sam, and I mean, it's a prominent name still in that area. Sam Van Arsdale. So Sam Van Arsdale was his owner. Jim was born in 1925, and he was this hunting dog, bird dog. Llewellyn setter, I believe. A Llewellyn English setter. And he was a very special dog. Back with my middle grade March reading wrap up for 2022. And I didn't do that great. There were 5 prompts, and I got 2 of them. So first let's talk about the ones that I didn't get. So, set in Asia or featuring an Asian main character. I started reading Front Desk by Kelly Yang, and I do still want to finish this because it seemed to be really, really interesting. But I did not finish it in March. It is still on my TBR for April. Book Older Than You, Persimmon Creek by Nellie Page Carter. I didn't even open this in March, so back onto the wall of shame it goes. And I do want to get back to it. I want to, like I said, I have all of her books now, I think. So I want to read those. And then the last prompt that I did not do was Orphaned Main Character. And I'm pretty sure this counts. I had other things that I thought about too. But I saw this in the bookstore and it's like, oh, I need this in my life. And I'm pretty sure because it says, and what she finds is her last living relative and her family's manor, and apparently her last living relative is a cousin who has haunting dreams. That suggests to me that Olivia is in fact an orphan. So this is Gallant by Ve Schwab, and yeah, I do want to read this soon. I'm really sorry that I didn't get to it in March. So the 2 that I did finish. So for contemporary book, I read The Secret of the Skeleton Key by Penny Warner, and it was generally okay. I mean, I wasn't the intended audience, but the problems I had with it went a little deeper than that, I think. I mean, there was some kind of fat phobia. It wasn't really blatant fat phobia, but it was there, and just some of the coincidences just seemed a little too contrived, and I don't know, it just, I have a feeling when I was a middle grader, I probably would have liked it more than I liked it now as an adult, but at the same time, I think I probably would have had some issues with it even when I was younger. I don't feel like it was like a shining example of its genre, but I mean, Skeleton Key, code breaking, yeah, I had to read it. Then 5 or more words in the title, and I went with The True Story of Jim the Wonder Dog by Marty Rhodes Figley. And this, it was in a lot of ways, it was just sort of a scaled down and modernized third person version of the original book by Clarence Dewey, I think, or something like that. I have a copy somewhere, but anyway, the original book that is not a children's book. I personally did not really learn anything new from that section. Oh, and it does have, have pictures of the park and everything. And, so I've got, sort of hometown warm fuzzy memories going on here. The book itself, the story, only goes to page 54, and then there's a section of pictures and the acknowledgments. But then it's got the author's sources, and it talks a lot about, the Marshall Chamber of Commerce published the Jim the Wonder Dog DVD, an 89-minute collection of historic photographs and interviews with people who personally knew Jim and saw him perform. Clarence Dewey Mitchell wrote Jim the Wonder Dog while the Van Arsdales were alive. And Pearl Van Arsdale and others verified the incidents in Mitchell's book as occurrences they had also witnessed. An eyewitness to one of Jim's performances wrote the article in rural Missouri. It, has a pretty detailed bibliography, and but then it has a whole section on oral histories, which talks about the importance of oral histories, but also how using them as a source, it's sort of a double-edged sword. She goes into the difference between primary and secondary sources and how oral histories can be either one. And I think it's... I was really impressed that she put this in there to kind of guide younger readers in how to assess sources when they're reading nonfiction, and how to evaluate the quality of those sources. And so I thought that was really good. Like I said, I personally did not learn anything really new about Jim the Wonder Dog because I've already, read and watched a bunch of stuff about Jim the Wonder Dog because hometown dog. But I think this is a really great little book. Whether or not you actually have any connection to Jim the Wonder Dog, I would definitely recommend this to young readers. And it's, oh god, this is a vast improvement over the Mitchell book. Oh. It wasn't designed for young readers, but it's not okay. It's not okay. But yeah, I'm interested to know who all did Middle Grade March, and what books you read for which prompts, and what you thought of your books, if you've read any of the books I read or intended to read and failed. But yeah, let me know your thoughts below, and in the meantime, please like and subscribe, and see you around.